Hello everyone and welcome back to probably the final episode of the Freelancers Tea Break in 2022. I wasn't actually planning on recording another episode before January, but I've managed to find a little snippet of time and I've just written out my newsletter with my year in review, and I thought I may as well just record this as a podcast as well, so hopefully I'll be able to share some of these bits and pieces with you. I'm going to keep it short and sweet because, you're probably facing like a huge podcast feed of all of the unlistened episodes from the last couple of weeks from everybody, and an inbox that is looking a little bit busy, and maybe even, like me, a YouTube watch later list that is getting very busy. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet like most of the episodes. So this is going to be a quick overview of basically my year in freelancing in 2022. And I think the biggest thing for me in 2022 was that I finally got my ADHD diagnosis in April. So I'm ADHD inattentive rather than hyperactive, all combined. So I got my diagnosis in April, and then in August I started on medication. So they call it titration, where you're trying different levels and seeing what works, and I think I've just about got a really good level now. It has been completely life-changing, and I didn't realise how much I was struggling before until I went on the medication, and medication is not for everybody, and actually just the diagnosis itself was incredibly life-changing anyway, but it has helped me function just so much better, and I've done podcast episodes before on this on ADHD, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but I will say this year has been a lot of rewiring my brain. So I was so limited with what I could do and the energy that I had so little energy all the time, and now I have that energy, so I'm having to sort of rewrite my brain and my beliefs and even some of my values around who I am and what I can do. And then there was a lot of kind of, oh, you can't do this, you're not good enough. And now I actually have the energy to be able to achieve these things and some of the focus and things like that. So it's been a lot of relearning. Also how to relax. That's been a massive thing, because I just used to have a nap to relax. And I needed a nap every single day, and I don't need that anymore. So I've had to find other ways to relax. And also a lot of kind of kindness to past me, who beat herself up a lot about what she achieved, and kind of a lot of kind of conversations with myself a little bit about that, and having a lot more empathy and kindness. So this year I've also started being coached by Jo Richards, who is an ADHD coach, and that's been really useful. She's been sort of holding my hand and going through all the psychology of things and what works for my brain, what doesn't. So that's been really, really useful, and kind of just not worrying about doing things the neurotypical way has been wonderful in that kind of sense. Just going on to the business side of things now. I started the move from Teachable to Podia for my courses and memberships. It was kind of in the back of my mind that I need to do it, but it was quite an overwhelming task. And then Teachable changed their plan with no notice this year. It was kind of the last nail in the coffin. So I've decided on Podia, which I am gradually moving all my courses over to, and my membership. So it's a bit of a logistical nightmare, but I think it will be really good in the long term. And I also, in the Black Friday sales, got the Hello Audio membership, which means that I can turn all of my courses and my memberships into audio feeds. So if you prefer to listen and learn through listening, they will be audio feeds that you can listen to, like the 30 Days to Go freelance course, or how to find clients, all that kind of thing. So hopefully that will make it even more accessible. What else? I managed to take most of August off. That was something I really wanted to do, and I planned around it. I had a sale in July, which meant I had some income in that would allow me to do that, and it was definitely needed. I hadn't really taken any time off throughout most of lockdown or anything like that, so that was really good. I launched working on workshops with Heather Wright. So Heather and I have been friends for quite a few years now. She did the same coaching training I did, but the round before me, and I was her guinea pig. And ever since then, we've just been in really good contact because she lives close by. And the Wokingham workshops were our way of providing group coaching whilst walking around the beautiful area of Dindon Pastures near us, which is a kind of it's a park essentially, but around lots of lakes and things, and we could walk around and delve into a lot of the coaching questions, and then spend some time sitting down on the benches that overlook the lakes I just tapped something there, to really reflect and write down our goals and values and things like that. So that was wonderful. Heather's going to be taking over that next year because she has very much got an outdoor coaching style and it matches really well to that. But I found it really useful to learn a lot more about group coaching through that. Next one, I've been in a bunch of summits and bundles this year, and I will probably do another podcast on that. I did do one a couple of months ago, but I've kind of learned a bit more about what works and what doesn't, and what I would do before I sign up for any more. So that's been really good. I have been speaking to more universities this year about freelancing as a career option. And when I say universities, I mean the students. And it's something I'm really passionate about. So if you do know of any university career departments who are looking for people to do talks on freelancing, I would love to hear about it. It's something I'm really passionate about providing as an option for graduates or even school leavers, that freelancing can be a career option, especially now that more businesses are open to remote working. And actually it is a wonderful career option for those who need flexibility, who need there are so many reasons people freelance, from supporting their own mental health, their physical health, caring for others, whether that's parenthood or whether being a carer or for someone older. But also neurodivergent people tend to thrive as a freelancer as well. So I want to make sure that that is more of an option out there, especially for grads when they leave for university and they're kind of given the option of these big graduate schemes or some kind of graduate route or things like that. But actually freelancing allows them to try a bit of a career buffet as such to see what works for them. So yeah. What else? Just checking my list. I smashed my Goodreads goal. And I did that because I lowered my Goodreads goal. And one of the things I've learned this year is with any of my goals, I have a sort of a meet, stretch and smash goal. So 3 targets for each of those. And the meet one is often lower. But it does mean that when I hit that, I get a dopamine rush, and that is more likely to make me go for stretch or smash. And also kind of unlearning that goals have to be hard. They don't have to be hard. And it's something I've been sort of banging on about in my business lounge. There is this kind of concept that if goals aren't hard, what's the point? But actually sometimes making 1 or 2 of your goals easier is much better than having 3 hard goals that you're not going to achieve. So yeah, I would highly recommend that. I popped up on a few podcasts as a guest this year. I really want to do a lot more of that next year, or 2023, depending on when you're listening to this. I pitched and landed a spot in Freelancer magazine, which was on my list to do. And I think I'd quite like to do a little bit more of that. I was also in Homeworker magazine as well. Both are fantastic for freelancers. I really recommend having a look at both of those. And just overall, I've absolutely loved coaching this year. I've loved my one-to-one work, Voxer coaching, but in particular I've really loved working with the incredible freelancers in the Freelance Business Lounge. They are such a wonderful, supportive group of people, and sometimes people will come on and they'll share a win and everybody's applauding them in the Zoom, when you've got all the everyone's different photos, they'll be cheering or clapping their hands or anything like that, and it's so wonderful to see. And I think as a freelancer you don't always get that, but also if someone comes on with a challenging topic, everybody is so supportive. And there's a chat bar we have on the right hand side, it's in Zoom, and when that person is talking, people are commenting encouragement or support or I'm so sorry, or even referrals and things like that. And lots of them have gone on and worked with each other as well, or referred work for each other. But it genuinely makes me quite emotional to think about how lovely everyone is to each other and how supportive and non-judgmental and everyone just wants each other to achieve their goals, and it's heartwarming. So yeah, that's kind of some of my highlights, which I think I've managed to nail it in just over 10 minutes. So I'm sure there are plenty others, and I do try and write down my achievements, and it's something I'm going to be doing a lot more in 2023, month by month as well. If you're not already doing that, I would highly recommend, because it makes it so much easier when you come back and review the year. So, I hope you have had a great 2022, and if you haven't, I hope there have been some moments of joy and many more moments of joy in 2023, and I'll be back with more podcasts then. I can't promise I'll be consistent every week. I managed it a bit more consistently this year, but I'm realistic. It's not going to be every single week, but hopefully you will have lots of updates from me on the podcast and on other people's podcasts. Oh, and if you do have another podcast, do get in touch. All the details are in the description, because I love popping up on other people's podcasts as well. Right, so depending on when you're listening to this, I hope you had a great end of 2022, and I will see you in 2023.